Welcome to the channel, and in this video we are going to explore some of the most haunted places in the world. Number 1. Fairmont Spring Hotel, Canada. Built in 1888 to encourage tourism and sell train tickets. This statue-style hotel sits pretty by the Rocky Mountains in Banff National Park, but it gets tad more gothic once you get inside. And we are not talking about the architecture. The Calgary Herald has reported several resident ghosts, including a bride who supposedly fell down the stone staircase during her wedding. But there a less tragic spirit too. Sam, the bellman, who worked at a hotel until 1975 and claimed he had come back to haunt the joint. His spirit supposedly pulled shift helping people with their bags before disappearing. Number 2. La Recoleta Cemetery, Argentina. You don't have to be religious to be moved by La Recoleta Cemetery, which features thousands of statues, mausoleums, fairy tale grottos, and intricate tombstones, as well as the remains of Argentina's most iconic figure, Eva Peron. The stone walkways and labyrinth of mausoleums are as beautiful as they are airy, and Recoleta has a couple haunted legends of its own. One of the most famous stories involves David Alino, a former grave digger and a caretaker who worked at a cemetery for 30 years before killing himself. Today, people report hearing Alino's key jangling as his ghost walked the pathways at dawn. Number 3. Tower of London, England. Built by William the Conqueror in 1066, this uncompromising fortress has had many functions, but it's best known for its bloody history as a prison and execution site. Henry VIII famously ordered the execution of two of his wives, Anne Boleyn and Catherine Howard. Here, it's also where two young princes were imprisoned after the death of their father, King Edward IV. They disappeared shortly after in 1483, and their remains were not found until 1647. Unsurprisingly, ghost stories of the tower victims and ghost tours through historic royal palaces abound. Number 4. Jazirat Alhamra, United Arab Emirates. You will find the nearly abandoned town of Jazirat Alhamra about 14 miles southwest of Ras Al Khaimah in northern UAE. Located between a huge mall and a huge water park. Established in the 14th century, the town grew into a thriving pearl fishing village in the 1830s before it was suddenly abandoned in 1968. The town now consists of dirt roads, 13 mosques, and more than 300 corrals and mud houses, and of course some resident spirits. People claim that visitors are bound to experience strange noises and chilling apparitions, usually genes in the form of animals. Number 5. Edinburgh Castle, Scotland. One of the biggest attractions in Scotland's capital city is also considered to be one of its most haunted, with sections dating back more than 900 years. The historic fortress, ancient dungeons, has led visitors to the castle to report sightings of colonial prisoners from the American Revolutionary War, French prisoners from the Seven-Year Wars, and even the ghost of dog wandering the castle dog cemetery. Number 6. Oriental Theater, Chicago. Ghosts are said to haunt the Oriental Theater in the Loop area of downtown Chicago, where almost 600 people perished after a fire famously broke out in 1903, writes Atlas Obscura. Even though the theater was completely rebuilt and rebranded, spirits of dead remains. Apparitions have been seen in a dead alley, the street behind the theater where bodies were stacked after the disaster, and a common stop on many a Chicago ghost tour. Number 7. RMS Queens Mary. Aside from a brief stint as a warship in World War II, the RMS Queens Mary served as a luxury ocean liner from 1936 to 1967. During that time, it was the site of at least one murder, as sailor being crushed to death by a door in the engine room and children drowning in the pool. The city of Long Beach purchased the ship in 1967 and turned it into a hotel, and it still serves that purpose today, although the reported ghost of the deceased passenger get to stay for free. For an extra dose or spine tingling experience, try and visit the ship's engine room, considered by many to be hotbed of paranormal activity. Thanks for watching the video, and do not forget to share, like and subscribe.